Hello, everybody.
Happy Tone Wars.
That's right. Here we are for another Sunday Night Live. Yep. And cheers to you.
Yes. Cheers to me.
And cheers to you guys.
Cheers to you guys. Hello, Derek, Aaron, Ben, Vox Pathfinder, and Helix Banana.
Helix Banana, what's going on?
Topic for tonight is Fight Night. That's right. Discussion of the Line 6 Powercab and the contenders.
Yep. We're going to talk about the contenders. We're going to talk about this guy. I'm still wrapping up my review of it. And
had some technical difficulties a little bit.
Yeah, we're trying to work out some things. So I got a new camera, which is behind us, from Paul Raymond, friend of mine. I bought his camera off him, and
so you can see his butt.
Yeah.
No?
It's not plugged in. But next week. So yeah, I got to just working out some of the details. I'm trying to do more of a cinematic kind of thing with this review and kind of go all out on it.
Yeah.
So just learning how to do some of that stuff. And yeah, so we're going to talk about this guy. We're going to talk about the other contenders that are going to be on the show next week. And I actually have a local recording engineer that lives really close to me that's going to be on. I just talked to him today. Hello, Mike, if you're watching. And he'll be on, and he's never played through an FRFR cab before.
Really?
So I thought, what a cool idea to have somebody that, like, this is his first time playing through them, and he's going to have, like, his first impressions of them all. And the whole thing in general, and he's going to have to rate them 1 through 10, like the rest of the guys are. But we're going to have a guy that's never played them before, but he's also a really good studio engineer.
Right.
So he's got great ears, and it's going to be really interesting to see what his take is on it.
So, how many people are you going to have?
I'm looking around 4. Yeah, about 4 guys.
And you're one of them.
I might be the 5th guy, and I might stay behind the desk. Yeah,
No.
I might be behind the desk. I haven't made up my mind yet on what I want to do. I might just stay behind the desk, because someone else has to do all the switching and stuff, and it's just too much work. So.
And we don't want to be here for 4 hours again.
We won't be here for 4 hours. Trust me. Not with this, because basically what the guys are going to do, they're going to play. We're going to dial in one distorted tone upstairs before we come down here, and they're going to pick that on the Kemper.
So they got to come early.
Yeah, they got to come around 4:30. Yeah, so we're going to have that dialed in through studio monitors, so they have a good reference tone. I was talking to Mike about that today, and that was his suggestion, is have them get a good reference tone, so when they come down here, they have something in their mind. So it's like, well, it sounded good upstairs, and if it doesn't sound good through one of these cabs, I'm going to know. So it won't be the tone, it'll be the cab, and it'll help them judge the cab better. So they're going to do a dirty tone and a clean tone through each one. 4 guys, just 2 tones through each one. So there's not going to be all this, this against that. It's going to be 3 cabs, and we're just going to...
I remember back when we talked about doing this, it was 2 cabs and 2 guys.
And now it's 3 cabs and 4 guys. Hey.
Or maybe 5.
Well, I mean, it's more scientific. If you got more people involved, I mean, you're going to have more opinions. I mean, 2 guys, it's easy for people to be like, there wasn't enough people, but you get 4 or 5 guys, then it's like, all right, that's a pretty good group of guys, and they're from different genres. So I think that'll help. I really do.
Good. Let's see. Helix Banana says, your floorboard looks a little small.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty small, Yeah, this thing is huge. Yeah, I was going to show off the cab tonight. I have it mic'd. The mic's about a little over 3 feet away, and I kind of found what I think is at least a decent, presentable type sweet spot with it. And I'll show you guys kind of what this sounds like. I'm still getting to know this cab. So far, it definitely has some impressive things about it that I'm learning about. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Quentin James wants to know, how does the cab feel at a loud stage volume?
Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. I actually had it cranked up down here a couple days ago, and it felt pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of volume. I mean, if you're wondering if this cab will keep up with the drum kit, I mean, it will, no problem. I mean, it'll do over 100, like 131 dB, so, which is way too loud, which is what you want. You want that headroom. So it gets plenty loud. I don't think there's going to be any issues regarding that.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, Ben. Ben sent super chat.
Hey,
he
thanks,
says,
Ben.
Carrie's the famous lady in black from Queensryche. Is that good or bad?
No, it's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Carrie's having a bad day. Having an off day.
She had an off day today, so
like all day.
Hopefully you guys can cheer her up, and so can the whiskey.
I was like, I just want to wear a blanket. I don't want to try.
Yep.
So this is me not trying.
Yep. This is Carrie phoning it in.
Phoning it in tonight, wearing a blanket.
Yeah. Whatever. Everybody gets a day to do that, right?
Let's see, Chris. That's what I want to know too, Quentin. Yes, as a doom metal player, I'm really looking to rumble the bowels of the audience. Ooh. Hopefully the bathroom has plenty of stalls.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has a lot of volume. You know,
there's so many different kinds of metal.
Yeah,
doom metal.
There's 350,000 kinds of metal. You know, it's just the way
it's confusing for people. I know when I tell people that I know we're not strictly we're prog metal.
Prog / power metal.
Every time I say, I sing in a metal band, they're like, oh, like the screaming and hollering. I'm like, no, not the screaming and hollering. Let's see. Aaron also says, does the Line 6 cab make you feel more positive about Line 6 products? What a good question, Aaron. He never disliked Line 6 products.
I never disliked Line 6 products. No. I have a Helix here, and here's the thing, though, and I know what Aaron's trying to say, and I get it.
He likes to stir the pot.
Yeah. So, like, I like the Helix, but I like it for 4-cable method. If I didn't like it, it wouldn't be here, and I made sure that it was in the shot. So, and wait till you guys see the nice cinematic shots I got of the cab and the Helix, and of course this guy. We got some really good shots of this guy. Some nice slow-mo cinematic shots with my new camera. I had a lot of fun doing that.
It's very romantic with the guitar.
Yeah, it's very romantic with all the gear. It kind of makes you salivate for it. Yeah, the cab so far, there's some pretty surprising things about it. The FRFR mode
You can give it all away?
I'm going to give it all
away.
I'm trying to be coy here.
Yeah, you got to be coy.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little song. Yeah, the FRFR mode on the cab is pretty darn good. I'll put it to you that way. It's pretty darn good.
Aaron says fake news on the pot stirring. You know you like it.
You know you stir the pot. Oh, it's all good. We like that. Keeps things interesting, Keeps people talking.
That's right. If nobody's talking, we're doing something wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, so how many people are tuning in next week? It's going to be exciting because FRFR cabs are a big deal. The digital platforms are, taking over the market for the most part. And I'm not saying that it's all digital now, but they're putting a good dent in it. And you need a good cab if you're going to be using those. So these cabs here, FRFR cabs, are becoming a major deal. And
even lay people know what they are now. When I talk to people in passing and they ask, what do I do? And I say what I do. And then I also have a YouTube channel, blah, 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 about music gear. And they seem to understand what I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a lay person, but the lay people.
the ones that are even, that are laid more than you are. You know what I'm saying. But they're kind of a big deal. They're very popular. So, and I see
a big deal.
So the thing is, though, is people.
You got the giggles?
Yeah. You keep messing with me.
All right, I'll leave you alone.
People are wondering left and right which one I should get, and it's every day in the message boards, like in the Facebook groups, like I just got a new fill in the blank digital platform. I'm looking for a good FRFR cab, and there's so many options, and you see all these people throwing options at them. Oh, get a head rush, get a Friedman, get a line 6, get a, get that Laney, get a CLR, get a, there's so many different options. And then it comes down to, well, which one's the best for the money, and then which one's just the flat out best, regardless of money. And I think the 3 titans, as far as, what I've seen so far, is this guy, the Friedman, and the CLR. And I've never played through a CLR, so I'm really looking forward to it. That's why I wanted to be part of this, because I want to see what the CLR's like. And I want to see what my blind test would be like. And I'm putting my reputation on the line.
You got super soft. You got to get up by the mic.
Oh, so I want to put my reputation on the line. And, because a lot of people ask me, is the Friedman the best? So far, it's definitely one of my favorites. And I want to kind of make sure that it really is, So this is going to be fun.
Let's see. Half Hashed is in the house.
Hey,
Hello.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Chris, your Kemper video got me salivating for a Kemper. First it made me angry, then I was in denial, and now I just need a freaking Kemper. Right? He went through all of the stages.
Oh, hey, Chris. Yeah, it's a great product, man. It really is. I can't say enough good about it. I almost brought it down tonight, but I had this all set up for my Powercab review. And I figured, well, why not use the synergy stuff with the Helix and the Powercab tonight? Because that's what I'm using in the review. I'm also using the Kemper with it.
Yeah.
And it didn't explode when I hooked them together. I thought there's going to be like this massive explosion or like, Yeah. So, but the Kemper went through it just fine. No issues. So that was kind of fun.
Warm chord music. Hi there.
Hey, what's going on? That's Jay.
He says, so I could run an XFX into the Line 6 Powercab as a stereo FRFR without using the Line 6 speaker models.
Correct. Yeah, you can go in there. You can go in there and use your own IRs. So you can use one IR on the left, one on the right. So you can stack them, so like you can have a greenback on the left and a vintage 30 on the right, and your own IRs. Like if you want to get live ready sound or own hammer, you can load them in here and put them in here, and you can do a high cut, low cut on them. You also have a high shelf and a low shelf kind of balancing option on this too. So you can add more highs or take some of them out via the menu on this. Same goes with the low end. If you want more low end, you can dial that in. If you want less, you can pull it out. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, let me say this too. This is a cool feature. Like, now somebody's gonna argue with me about this. You know how on the Kemper
Bring it in. It's a good night for arguing.
Yeah, exactly. So on the Kemper how they have like you can only have one cab at a time, whether it's an IR or a mic'd cab in there. Well, which I think is all it needs, because the Kemper sounds so big and full anyway. But for the guys who want to push it and see what 2 IRs would be like, since you can't do it in the Kemper, if you hook up to the Powercab, you can have 2 IRs in the Powercab. And that kind of solves that problem. You just turn the cab impulse on the Kemper. You just turn that off and use the cab impulses inside the
nice.
Powercab. So that's kind of a neat feature for guys who want to do that and push it.
Let's see. What are some other things here? Clifford Klein. I would love to hear a shootout between the Friedman and the CLR and the Helix. And then he says he has the Friedman ASM12. I feel like it can be a little harsh from the tweeter.
He said the Friedman, the CLR, and the Helix. Or maybe with the Helix?
He said and the CLR and the Helix, but that's probably what he meant.
Yeah. Yeah, we could probably do that someday. We're going to use the Kemper next week when we do it, because it's just easy. It's just easier for me to have guys come over and pick tones on it and go.
Warm Chord Music says, what about using the IRs already in the modeler, though? It has stereo IRs, right?
In the Kemper.
Oh, I'm sorry, stereo ins.
Yeah, it has stereo ends. So if I read your comment right. If Carrie read it right, you're gonna hook it up via stereo in here, and then you can put an impulse response in the cab on the left and another one on the right. You can do that here. You can load this with impulse responses, a lot of them, and you can mix and match. Huh?
You need a hanky.
Yeah, I'm sweating. It's. I got the heat on because it got chilly today. So maybe I should run up and turn the air on. Because
I'm okay, but you look hot.
Yeah, I'm boiling right now. it's these lights are hot, so it just happens.
Let's see. Oh, Clifford says I meant the Line 6 Powercab. Oops, with the Kemper.
Oh,
so that's probably.
Well, next week we're actually doing a shootout on Fight Night.
Yeah.
Next week, Clifford, tune in because we're gonna have 4 or maybe 5 guys come in and they're gonna play through all 3 of those cabs. There's gonna be the CLR, the Powercab, and the Friedman ASC 12.
I feel like next time I talk to you, you're gonna be like, Carrie, that's just 7. There's gonna be 7 guys. That's it.
Yeah, but I think it's 4 or 5.
Maybe 9.
Yeah, or 20. So we're gonna have a busload of people drop off a bunch of people, and the circus is gonna stop by.
Great.
And they're gonna bring their own guitars and play through them blind. They don't know which one they're playing through, and they're gonna score each one 1 through 10. And at the end of the night, we're going to tally up the scores and tell you who won. We're going to, first, second, third place.
Sounds like a job for Carrie.
Yes, Carrie's going to be doing the spreadsheet and all the math and all the smart people stuff. And we're just going to play guitar and have a good time. Doesn't it suck being a smart, nerdy chick?
Ben Burnett, the Live Ready Sound BE-EL34 Experience is an incredible IR pack, very versatile and does metal very well. Tim does some incredible IR packs. You should turn the heat off.
Yeah, I should go up to... I'm seriously, I'm roasting right now.
I would, but I'm boxed in. I got a mic and a...
Yeah, well, why don't you keep everybody occupied? I'm going to go upstairs and turn the air on.
Yeah. So... Here we go.
I just hope I don't screw up the camera.
Oh, I didn't bring the t-shirts down. Have you been putting your email address?
No, I'll put it in tonight. I'm sorry. I forgot to do that. Yeah, I forgot to do that. I hope I don't screw up this camera. Excuse me for 1 second.
All right, he's going to go adjust the temperature because he's sweating beads and Jared can't sweat. But yeah, we have the t-shirts still. We still have t-shirts for $25, $20 for the t-shirts, $5 for shipping and handling. We have small, medium, large, and extra large, and believe it or not, we still have 1 bowling shirt left, so for $45, it could be yours. It's a size extra large. Next Sunday is our fight night. It's our second fight night. It's what we've been talking about. The Line 6 Powercab has something to do with it. Jared's been playing with it all week long, and he's actually been filming a review that he wanted to release before our episode tonight, but ran into some technical difficulties, but I'm sure it'll be up and ready soon. Before the fight night, anyway. Yes, what else do we have on here? Aaron Lucas, 10 guitarists and 5 bassists would be the best scenario, right? I don't know where we would put them all. And Jared would literally be pulling his hair out. That's why I try to keep it small. Keep it small, 2 or 3 people, and Jared's okay. And then we start throwing in extra ones, and suddenly it's a giant stress ball. Let's see. Aaron Lucas, you warm, you know you're wearing an Afghan. I'm fine. He was the one that was sweating. But you're right. I'm wearing an Afghan because I had a bad day. It's my bad day blankie. How do we order t-shirts? Send Jared an email. He'll put his email, or if if you're on Messenger with him or whatever, you can Facebook message him. And he'll give him your mailing address, and then he will PayPal you. You can pay over PayPal for that. Make sure you let him know what size you need as well. I hear him coming back. Yep, there he is. And I can feel the air. Very nice. All right. What you got? I can feel it. I can feel the air.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
We need it. I was sweating like a pig. So, yeah. Anyways, well, that should be a lot better for the night. For me, anyways. Yeah, I wanted to do a quick demo of the Powercab 2x12, too, and just show you guys what it sounds like. It's a pretty cool unit. Again, so far, the FRFR portion of it is pretty good.
Yeah.
I expected, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. I've never played through any Line 6 cabs at all. because they had the previous versions. They
Yeah.
had like a Powercab and a Powercab Plus, and some of the demos I heard were just, I don't know. I don't think they were the cab. It was just the way they had things set up. I didn't really care for it.
Ben says the first fight night has created epic ramifications throughout the guitar community. The truth will be told.
Yeah.
The truth will be told.
That's what we're about, man. You know, and that's why like we do the blind test, because there's no like favorites, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's no like, well, I think this is the better one, so I'm just going to vote for it. Nobody really knows what they're playing through, including myself when I do it. So I'm going to have this mic right here set like that, and then I'm going to have like the other two cabs. I'm going to have one here and one here, and I'm going to set the mic up in a way where it picks them all up. And I'm going to measure and make sure that they're all in an even spot, and they're all going to be like almost like a very mild semicircle around it.
Yeah.
And then the player is going to be out there, because these are going to be way back. I'm going to have this room set up completely different. And
So they're not going to be facing the camera. They're going to be...
The player will face the camera, but not the cabs. The cabs will be behind them.
Behind them.
And for some of you nitpickers that are going to be watching this...
nitpickers.
Well, how are they supposed to know when it's facing behind them? You know what? I did it. I spun around in a chair, like in front of the cabs, and there's negligible difference between whether or not I'm facing the cab or if it's behind me.
Yeah.
And conversely, a lot of people use the cabs on stage on backline anyways. It's behind them, and they're used to hearing things that way. So that's the best way I can do it. Otherwise, what I would have to do is blindfold the player, which is stupid.
No, that's fun. I want to do that.
I wouldn't be comfortable.
Wait, you made an executive decision on that.
Yeah, well...
I want to do the blindfolds.
Well, you can blindfold them later.
No, hey. Let's start something.
No, I'm not trying to start now. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying that, you know, I wouldn't be comfortable playing, because you're going to play horribly with a blindfold on you. And I think
it'd make them nervous.
Yeah, make people nervous. And it's nerve-wracking enough to play on YouTube, let alone...
Is the line 6 as full as the Friedman, in your opinion?
Who asked?
Clifford.
I'm trying to...
No, don't give it away. Don't give the goodies away.
And I apologize profusely. I'm really trying to...
1 week. You got to come back.
Yeah.
You got to come back next week.
Yeah, you got to come back next week, number one. Number two, I'm doing a review of it, and... I'm trying to keep all that stuff under wraps until I release the review, because people will ask me afterwards, and I will tell you afterwards. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. I'm trying to remain open-minded while I do this, and I don't want to color people's thoughts when they hear the review. That's all, you know. I am grateful that Line 6 sent it to me. There's some pretty...
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
There's some pretty interesting features on it, and I'm trying to get some things worked out with it, hopefully tomorrow.
I know there were some things that caught you by surprise, too. You weren't expecting.
Yeah, yep, and I'll talk about all that stuff in the review.
Yeah.
I will, and...
All the teasers.
Yeah, and I again, I don't mean to be so coy about it all. It's just, I was supposed to have released the review today.
I told them that while you were gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I ran into some technical difficulties that I got to get worked out, and then hopefully tomorrow night or Tuesday it'll be up. I just got to shoot my talking points, and that's really it.
Yeah.
I just have to shoot I recorded everything. I recorded my intro. I even filmed all of the cinematic slow-mo shots that I'm kind of proud of, and I just got to do my talking points, but the way I used to do reviews, I used to do my talking points first, and then get that over with, because I honestly hate shooting that, because I turn into a stuttering idiot.
You're so good live, but as soon as we start recording, pre-recording,
I'm horrible.
Right?
I am horrible. I overthink everything.
So funny.
Yeah, you think it's funny.
I know, but then I get in the same situation and I get mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop talking, I can do this.
I'm like, welcome to my hell.
I know.
Yeah, so, but I used to do my talking points first, and then, because I would have, like, I would play it a little bit, and then I would go, okay, this is my opinion about it, and then I would do my talking points, then I would shoot all the recording stuff, where I'm recording stuff, and, like, playing it and getting to know it, and a lot of times in that, session of recording, I learned more things about it. I'm like, oh, I thought this way, now I think this way. So I do it the opposite now. I record all the tracks first and get to know the product as far as how it plays, how it sounds, how it feels, and how it is during a recording session. And then I start tallying up my opinions, and I'll take notes and go, I noticed this, or I noticed that, or this is better than I thought it was, or I really like this feature, and stuff will stand out to me. And sometimes, like, some subscribers, I got to give Ben credit. Like, he'll do some research on things every once in a while, because I talk to him,
Ben.
and he'll message me and go, check this out, or look at this, and it'll be stuff I didn't think about, about things.
Imagine
and then,
that.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. So I want to make sure that I'm fair when I do my talking points about these products, because I would hate to mislead people, and I would hate to be wrong about something and cause a company to not make enough money off of it. Not that I'm the end-all, be-all, and if I say it's great,
but a lot of people do take recommendations from you.
Yeah, so sure. I want to be respectful about that to you guys and to the companies that send me things,
Half Hash says he'll listen while wearing a blindfold.
Yeah, because I think you're going to see the cabs. They will be in the shot, because they're kind of... I'm trying to think, like, we're probably going to be over there again on our little table thingy, which you get to help me move. Lucky you.
Did you put it back upstairs again?
Yeah,
like
I
all
did.
The way upstairs?
I did.
I thought we were going to leave it in the gym.
Well, we'll see. I got to work out in there. You got room
for
that.
Work out moving the table.
Yeah, I got room for that table and my guns. They ain't gonna both fit in there.
Lord.
So, like, the cabs will be back here. I'll probably have these shelves moved, and then the player will be probably up here.
Ooh, look, here's our new little thing.
Our newest
doodad.
Oh, you can see it.
You can see it.
Yeah, so let me play. This is my Synergy rig through the Powercab via the Helix, and I got an IR in the Helix here from Live Ready Sound. And what you're going to hear is the Camrock, which is Antonin's, from Salvation Audio. He made this module, and that's his take on the Cameron amps, which aren't available anymore. And it's a pretty freaking cool amp.
I like the name, Camrock.
Yeah, it's really nice. So let me mute this mic, and I'll turn that mic on. And you guys can have a taste of kind of how this mic picks up this cab. All right, 1 second. Yeah, so that's pretty much how it sounds. I mean, I'll probably spend a good hour dialing in the mic for that night, because, and for everyone to keep in mind too, the reason why I'm miking the cabs is for you guys to kind of be in on it, so that you can kind of hear the difference between the cabs. Yeah. This isn't really, I mean, the people that are playing through them, the mic is, it's irrelevant, because they're in the room with the cabs. And the mic is just for you guys to kind of enjoy being in the room with us. So, don't judge the mic sound by like, oh, why didn't you dial it in better or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Miking FRFR cabs is really difficult to do, because an FRFR cab is projecting a mic'd sound of an amp, and then we're miking that. So It's kind of weird.
Mic'd on mic.
Yeah, it's a mic'd sound. So.
Half Hash says, so preamp to Helix to power section, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cliff says it's a pretty good metal sound. It's tight. Half Hash said very hybrid. He liked it. It's a hybrid sound.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I'll tell you, I did a review of my Synergy rig with my Helix, and man, I'm telling you, if you're looking for a product to pair with your Synergy rig, this is a great product for that, because the effects, the switching, all of that's very easy to use. It's fun to set up. It's very fun. There's a creative aspect to it, as opposed to you're in there just pulling your hair out. It's super simple. And I actually show how you program it via MIDI and how everything's hooked up. So, and if you're looking for like all the stickers and all the stuff that I have, like the different, you can see the stickers and the different wrappers I have on the cables and stuff.
Those have saved us so many times.
Yeah.
They really have. They're so cool.
Yeah.
You put this sticker, a colored dot, on your equipment, and then they have a wrap for the cable that coordinates with the color. It's the same color, so red dot, red wrap. And good grief, that has saved in dark areas when we play live, or even just I need help setting up because we're rushed, and you know, red goes with red, blue goes with blue. So gosh, I would recommend those.
Yeah, instead of labeling it with letters, because the thing is with the letters, you got little letters and you're trying to read and you're like, oh, but the colors.
I mean, still put your name on it. Use the whatever, but
sure,
the color coding
theft.
is
Yeah, but like she use it on your mic. I use it. Reno, our bass player, uses it, and we get it from Gear by Seba, CEBA. We get our stuff from there.
It also helps too, just to identify among band members whose cable is whose. So if we need to replace it, we're buying our own cable. You know, Jared's not always buying. All of the stuff.
Yeah, so it all and I use Pedal Python, so you can see down here. Well. Is that in the... No, it's not in the shot.
Oh, there's the thick piece right over there is.
So I use Pedal Python for that, and that is awesome. So all my cables go through one sheath, you know, and they're all in there nice and tight, and I just wrap it up in a big Velcro strap, and I'm done, you know. So, yeah, but that's kind of what it sounds like. I almost thought about using my Synergy rig for the shootout. I'm still on the fence whether or not I want to do that. The only issue is I only have like kind of like high gain modules, and we got a couple guys here that aren't high gain players. So I thought, I'll just use the Kemper. That way we can just kind of, you know, have everybody happy with everything. Because the number one thing is you have to be happy with the tone to begin with, so that, you know, when you play that happy tone through the FRFR cabs, you know, you're not going to be soured by the tone.
Right.
You know, I want the cab to either impress you or sour you, not the tone that you're using. So I want to take that out of the equation and leave it up to the cab to impress you or not. So.
Did you ever tell anybody or tell your viewers how you came to be? I mean, I know you've always been a tone junkie, but you had an experience with someone that you respected.
Oh, Rex Carroll?
Yeah.
Yeah. We I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Rex Carroll. Look him up, Google him. He's like the Yngwie Malmsteen-ish kind of guy of Christian metal, and he's been around a long time, and he was like one of my idols, like when I was like in my 20s. Like I heard their first tape, and I said tape, I know. And he had this solo on there called Nagasaki, and it just blew my mind. It was better than Eruption.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, this guy's so good. I wanted to burn my guitars, you know? And then I went to Cornerstone, which is this huge metal fest, kind of Christian kind of metal fest thing in
back in the day.
Chicago, yeah. And we camped there for like a whole week and watched all these bands, and it was amazing. And his band came up, and of course I'm gonna go see them. And
White Cross?
Yeah.
White Cross,
and he won so many awards as Guitar Player of the Year, and he deserved all of them because the guy's amazing. Well, fast forward 20-some years later, we get on a tour with them in our old band Rain, and we did a quick little mini tour with them.
Tri-state area,
Yeah, and got to meet him, and became.
Dude, he stayed here, right?
He stayed at my house. Yeah, on the second part of the tour. I think he stayed here once or twice. I can't remember now, but while we were in the living room, just hanging out, throwing the guitar back and forth, trading licks and stuff, we had a conversation about tone.
Yeah.
And he shared some of his stories with me about how when he was winning all these awards and touring all over the world, he had this salty sound guy that was their sound guy that went on tour with them. and the guy was a tone
They're
fanatic.
all salty,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Yeah. Have you met musicians?
Right.
That's why they're salty. So this guy finally kind of told Rex, hey, man, your tone's kind of killing the audience. It's really harsh and loud and this and that. And he taught Rex how to dial in his tone better. And I'm not flaming Rex by saying that. Rex told me the story.
Yeah.
So Rex passed the same information on to me when we were playing with them. He was just like, yeah, I want to talk to you about your tone, dude. I was like, oh, no. And he told me that story. He went into great detail with it. I'll spare you all the details.
Thank you.
But he passed all that stuff on to me, and we spent a few hours dialing in my stuff, and he really taught me a lot of things.
But I feel like that, I know, again, you've always been a tone junkie, but that experience has led us till today.
Yeah.
You haven't stopped. So
No, and the thing is that I was grateful for the lesson, and I had to eat a little crow and I had to be open-minded, because here's a guy that literally was like one of my guitar idols, and he's sitting on my couch in my living room now, talking to me about this stuff. So it's like, why wouldn't I pay attention to that?
Yeah.
And I was also grateful for the fact that he took the time to talk to me about it, because he even said, look, I don't sit here and talk to everybody about this stuff.
Right.
He's like, but, I feel compelled to tell you because I like you, I like your playing and your style and this and that, and I'd hate to see you, like, clear out a room because your tone is what's, kind of, like, ruining the experience. Yeah, you can be the best
player ever, but if you're making people's ears bleed, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter, so...
and if you're too loud.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate too loud now. I'm to the point now where I'm just like...
I never go to a venue without earplugs anymore. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Why do they do that? Even when we went to Sweetwater, to Gearfest at Sweetwater, it was still so... Are we old? Is that what it is?
No, that was pretty loud.
It's still loud.
Yeah, but that's, that was for Yngwie.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the sound guy that was there was like, I'm not going to tell Yngwie to turn down.
No, but he could have. He could have been like, boop.
Yeah, but Yngwie's Yngwie. You're going to feel the fury. So, yeah, anyway, so I really took those lessons with me and apply them to my playing now. And I say this with all humility. Yeah. I feel like I'm a better player and a better tone dialer inner because of what I learned from Rex.
Well, you care.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. And it's true too. Like you can be, like what you said, you can be the best guitarist in the world, and if you have crap tone, I mean, none of it matters. Right. Just like with a vocalist, if you can hit all the notes, but if your tone of your voice is just shrill and horrible, it doesn't matter. You have to be first and foremost. You have
to be pleasing to the ears.
Yeah, gifted with a beautiful voice, which you are.
Well, thanks.
So even at that point, if you have a beautiful voice, it doesn't matter if you can sing up into the stratosphere. All it matters is your voice soothing, are the melodies that you choose good, and if your tone's good, who gives a crap about everything else, So that's kind of how, I don't know, that's kind of how we look at it.
For sure.
We're getting some comments here.
Derek says, great story.
Well, thank you.
Half-hashed, he always brings earplugs to a show too, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You really do.
Let's see. What was the biggest takeaway from your conversation? Jim Lund wants to know.
With Rex, the biggest takeaway, well, there's a couple, and I'm glad you asked this. Number one, a lot of people dial their tone in with their cab pointed at their knees, which is a huge mistake because
your knees aren't listening.
Your knees, last I checked, your ears are up here. So what happened was, that's the sound guy, what he did is he took Rex's cab and he tilted it back and he goes, now stand there and play. And Rex was like, oh my God, and he's wincing and this and that. He goes, that's how you dial in your tone. Do it with your cab facing your face, not your knees. And he goes, think about this for a second. The speakers that we have up here on the flying arrays, what are they facing? Are they facing people's ears or their knees? Their ears. He goes, okay, so we're pointing you right at their heads.
Yeah.
And you're killing them. You're clearing out a room with everyone's just like, oh, and he's like, look, you're a great guitar player. I don't want to see you miss out on a great audience because no one wants to hear what you're doing. So face your amp or your cab at your face, put it up on a chair, angle it up at you, whatever you got to do that, and then dial in your tone. And the other thing is just be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. Start with everything at noon, all the way across the board, and then fine tune from there at small increments. Live with it for a few minutes. And one of the things that, this isn't what they told me, but this is something I figured out on my own, was once I get my tone dialed in, to check it against a clean tone. Because clean tone, if you got a great, sparkly, nice, warm, clean tone that's very pleasant to your ears, and you switch back and forth between that and a dirty tone, and the dirty tone sounds, it'll point out all the stuff.
It cleanses your ear palate.
Yeah, you get and if you switch back and forth, because you do that live, you go from a clean patch to a dirty patch live all the time, and if you do that, and you go from clean to dirty, and it's like it'll tell on itself. All the annoying, harsh things in that patch will jump out at you, and it'll tell you to address them. So once you can go back and forth with no issues, you've arrived with a great tone.
Yeah.
Honestly, and then the next thing is test it in a mix.
Derek Merrill, off topic, but I just ordered by Kemper Stage. My question is, are the stock profiles any good for a hard rock metal rhythm tone, or will I have to buy profiles right off the bat?
Great question, and congratulations. I like the Live Ready Sound stuff. I don't think there's any Live Ready Sound stock profiles in there, but let me give you a go-to. Guido... I know, it's a weird name. Guido Bungenstock is his name. And he's got a diesel VH4 in there that will blow your freaking mind.
You gotta go see a Guido.
Yeah. So go to Guido. The secret handshake.
You're so much better at it than me. I was waiting for you to pull it out.
No, go to Guido Bungenstock's diesel VH4. It's stock in the Kemper. It comes with it.
Dude, his last name is as bad as yours.
I know, it's pretty bad. But he's got just go look for the diesel VH4 and look for his name in there. And I'm telling you, that was the first profile I used in the Kemper, and it was the greatest first impression I've ever had. It was so good. And you could probably stick with that as a go-to, or as at least something to add to your favorites folder for forever. And then judge all the other profiles that you like via metal and stuff like that to that. I mean, yes, they'll all sound a little different, but I'm telling you right now, that is a legit profile for sure.
Hi, Bucket. Bucket is my god.
Oh, Bucket is my god. What's happening? He's talking about Buckethead. Which is, he's a...
Somebody said Vox Pathfinder, Randy Rhoads kind of had crappy tone.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, and Cliff gave me a compliment. My voice is pretty awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it is. She's got a great voice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're lucky to have her, But yeah, I mean, Randy Rhoads' tone, if you single out his tone on Blizzard of Oz, it's so screechy.
That's what Ben said. He said his tones are like razor blade, but within the context of Ozzy's music.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
I can still listen to that album and be completely happy with it. But would I want to sound like that? No. And all due respect to Randy.
Sure.
Oh my God, all due respect to him, but I don't want my tone to be like that.
Right.
It's very thin. I like my tone to sound like a brick wall coming at you, and I feel like I've accomplished that in the stuff that I dialed in. I could dial in a couple. I'll play a couple more riffs on some stuff in a minute here on this. I've got all my modules here. Well, some of them anyways. I might as well show you what they sound like.
Bucket says, "Can I call you Bucket? Is that okay?" I'm scared that the Line 6 Powercab is going to be better than the Friedman ASC 12, as I just bought 2 of them.
As you just bought 2 of the Friedmans?
Yeah.
Let me...
No.
I can't say anything.
No.
I can't say nothing. Yeah. Because this one will chop my hand off or something.
I wouldn't chop your hands off. We need those for...
We need those for things, but... Yeah. Pinky toe, maybe? I don't know.
I'll ditch your goatee. I'll chop your goatee off.
Don't be doing that.
It's like Samson there,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I'll turn into a scrawny wuss. Yeah, I can't say, and again, I apologize. I can't give anything away before the shootout and the review. So, I will say this, though.
It's kind of fun, though.
Yeah, I know.
It's fun.
I will say this, though. It is good, and the Friedmans also very good. So I know it did not help you at all. Yeah.
Bucket says he's Brent, so you don't want me to call you Bucket then. We'll go with Brent.
We'll try to remember. We'll try to keep the names straight with the handles. You know. So yeah,
let me play a little bit.
Yeah, let me play for a few seconds here. I'm gonna pull up. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the the angle. Okay, 1 second here.
You're done already?
Yeah.
You do some more of your driving.
Well, I'll show. Do some more what?
Do some more of your driving.
Driving
stuff.
I want to do. I want to show you guys how quirky the angle is. Trying to move this so I can hit my wah.
Which one's your wah?
This guy right here.
Where's my? Or slide this way.
Yeah, push it. Can you push it a little?
Well,
here, you push.
1, 2, 3.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, set it out here. Yeah, the angle has an amazing ability to be super quirky with the wah. It sounds, it's just got this spooky thing that it does, you know. And I love how it sounds with the wah. I was just talking to somebody else today about that. Excuse me, and it just does this thing that there's really no words for.
He is playing through the Helix, by the way.
Yeah,
he's using the Helix.
Yes, what you're hearing is what you're hearing is the modules going through an IR in the Helix, and then out to the Powercab, and then mic'd with this guy here. That's what you're hearing. So the Helix is adding effects and switching and routing is what it's doing.
Ben says, mic tone through YouTube sounds amazing. Full, thick, and not shrill at all. Very smooth, but good cut, great depth, good stuff. You nailed it.
Ah, thank you, sir.
How do you feel the bass responses? Cliff wants to know.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's good. There's good bass. There's good low end. And what I have on the cab is everything's flat. So I haven't adjusted anything. I haven't added any highs. There's a high and a low shelf on the cab, and it allows you to adjust those things. Stay tuned for my review because I'm going to address some things that I like about it and some things that weren't really jumping out at me. But I will give you a heads up on that. They're not deal breakers. They're things that you don't have to use anyway, so it's not a big deal. So that is the nice thing about it, is you're not forced to have these things that at least for me, that I didn't like, you know. It's very versatile, and it does a lot of cool things. And the thing that it does the best is the FRFR mode. Frank and Joe, if you're watching, Frank Rashad, that is, I'm going to reach out to Frank. I gave him my number. I said, please give me a call. He'll probably call me tomorrow, hopefully. I just wanted to talk to him about a couple of things on the cab and make sure, again, that I got everything correct before I release my talking points and stuff like that. But I also had some ideas I wanted to share with him as well, and hopefully they would, be helpful. But yeah, so far, it's definitely an impressive unit. So let me do... I'm going to make sure I'm not going to screech and squeal through this.
No.
Yeah, in fact, let me do this. Let me give you guys an example of going from clean to dirty and what I'm talking about.
Sure.
You know, so let me do that real quick. So I'm going to start with a clean tone, go to a dirty tone, and you're going to see how they blend well together and there's nothing annoying about it. Okay? One second. So as you heard there, going from a clean tone to even the quirky kind of aggressive Kemper, Engel, this is the Engel Savage. It was a very, very bombastic module. It still wasn't like, there was nothing, and I got in-ears on. Yeah, there's going to be an aggressive tone to it, but that's how it's supposed to be. So you got to keep in mind, that's something that I think a lot of guys don't think about, is when you're playing live or when you're in the studio, you're going to have a clean tone and you're going to have a dirty tone. And if those two don't coincide with each other very well, you're going to have issues, especially live. People's ears are going to get soothed by all this nice, wonderful, clean stuff. And then you don't want them going, oh, when you hit the dirty tone. You want them to just be like, all right, that's pretty cool. We're in a different gear now. And that's how it that's how it should sound, So it's a great test, between the two. And then in a second here, I'll do the quirky wah thing,
Yep, they liked it. Nice tone.
Cool.
Will you be playing, let's see, Bucket said, will you be playing it with the Kemper stage at some point? That was before you started playing, so I'm not sure what he was...
Tonight, no, but next Sunday, the Kemper stage, I'm pretty sure, is what we're going to be using for the shootout. Because, again, it's just easier, it's just easier when the guys come over and say, well, because I know Brett Murphy is probably going to be like, do you have a Fuchs amp? I have it in the Kemper, but not anywhere else. So then he can come down and have something that he's comfortable with, so that he's not having to overlook that when he's checking out the cabs and judging them, so...
Apparently, Vox Pathfinder didn't think that was a clean tone. He's like, clean tone, question mark?
The first one was clean. Yeah, the first one was clean. I'll show you again, 1 second. So yeah, that's a clean tone. That's nice and sparkly. And then
you interrupted my humming.
Oh, sorry.
I was humming with you.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull this off. Here's all the excuses. I'm not warmed up. The sun's in my eyes, and my dog ate my homework. I'm going to do a little bit of a little jam here with the wah and show you how creepy this thing can be. It's a lot of fun.
Do you still prefer the Kemper over the Helix? They're trying to get you.
Who's asking?
Bucket. Do you still prefer Kemper over Helix?
For all-in-one, the tones, yes. The tones, yes. Yeah. For what I'm using tonight, I love the Helix for that, because it's just, I mean, you got the switching, the routing, the effects, and then the scribble strips, and it's just easy.
The scribble strips.
Yeah, your favorite word.
Oh my goodness.
And honestly, if you watch interviews with Line 6, even at like NAMM shows and stuff, they'll even tell you that they didn't build it to replace your gear. They built it to work with it.
Right.
So, and where Kemper, it's a completely different animal. It's made to replace your amps. I mean, it really is made to suck the soul out of your amps, and then you can take them on tour with you and leave your amps at home and not miss them. And it does that about as good as it could possibly be done, you know. And I think, you know, and no disrespect to Line 6 at all, but the amp models in here are great. They'll get you through, like if you have to do a fly date or if your amp breaks down on you on tour and you got to use it, it'll get you through the show and it'll sound fine. But it won't really replace your amps. It'll do the job and getting you through the show. But I think that the main reason why the Helix was created was to work with your gear as a 4-cable method unit, and it does that about as good as any piece of gear can possibly do. So let me do the crazy wah stuff 1 second here.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah, see, that's just gnarly. It's just got its own quirky characteristics. And the thing is when you do wah stuff on the angle, there's so much weird, quirky color that it adds to it. And only an angle could do that. And when you hear that, even on stage, like you're in a crowd, you listen to a band play all the way from the balcony, you could be like, that guy's playing an angle. I just know he is.
Yeah.
And they're one of the most distinctive sounding amps out there. So anytime I'm doing a wah solo now, I'll most likely use that. And I could do it for hours.
Yeah.
Upstairs, I'm just lost in it. It just sounds so weird. And it actually, I mean weird as a compliment, it actually inspired a lot of that solo to be what it is. It's actually an intro that I wrote for one of our shows. And as soon as I switched to the angle with it, I switched to the wah on it because I knew that what it would do. And it took that intro and completely, I only played half of it, by the way, because I didn't want to bore you with the whole thing, but it took it on a whole new, like, kind of path. And it inspired me to write differently and add all that Middle Eastern kind of, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. The Arabian Nights kind
beautiful,
of feel.
Thank
you.
Very
Thank you.
sexy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, and it's kind of hard when you're all bunched up here and playing, but whatever.
You're welcome to slam it.
No, it's all good. I need to be by the wah, and I didn't want to bump the mic. But I used this as an intro for the Powercab review. So what I did was I recorded this with a nice little pad kind of behind it with an open like E, you know. just kind of going. And then I recorded that with the Kemper, and then you can freeze the reverb, and it creates a pad. And I just looped it and recorded it, and so I played that solo with the Helix Kemper or the Helix Synergies. I got so much gear. I'm getting my kids mixed up. Right. But the Helix, the Powercab, and that all together with it. And what I did was I recorded that, and I filmed myself playing it, and then I'm going to use like all the shots of the gear in the intro to kind of like give you guys an idea of what I've used in the video, what the gear looks like, close-ups of the Powercab, of the top of it with it on, and then the back panel of the Helix, of the Synergy stuff. This guy, there's just like some cool cinematic shots that I used, and there'll be information in there too, so I kind of get it all done all at once. You know what I mean? Ended up being kind of a fun experience doing that.
Is it Engel Powerball?
This is the Savage, which is my favorite Engel. The Savage is amazing. It just has that gnarliness to it, that snarl that you just. Yeah, the Powerball is a thinner. It's a good amp. It's a very good amp, but it's a little thinner than the Savage. Yeah, I mean the Powerball is amazing. I played through it as well, but I prefer the Savage because it has a little more of a fuller sound, and it's got even more of a quirky kind of thing going on with it. And I also like the Angel, which is right here. That's Salvation Audio's version of an Engel. I think it's the Steve Morse version of the Engel, and that thing is a freaking beast as well. That thing sounds incredible.
Dookie's here from Seoul, Korea.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping by, man.
I feel like he says hi every week. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's great to see a lot of regular people coming in here, and I have to say, I don't think you guys realize how much it means to us that you guys are here. We really want you guys to know that it really does make our night, because when you put a lot of effort into going live and you're just hoping that people show up and they want to really be there, it means the world when you set the table, invite people over for dinner, and they actually show up and enjoy the meal with you. So it's great.
23 people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Enjoying dinner.
Yeah, no, that's really great. It really means a lot to us, very much. And like next week, if we could ask you guys for a big favor, if you could share the when you tune into the event live next week, if you could just share it in groups on your page, tag your friends, whatever, we would greatly appreciate it, because that's going to be an epic event. And I think that one of the reasons why we're doing this too is because a lot of people really are truly looking for what is the best cab for me to use. We have the ability to share that information with you because we're doing blind tests, and we have the best of the best here, and we're going to shoot them out. Now, I will also say that whatever cab comes in third doesn't mean that it's the worst cab. It's just
that it's bad.
Yeah, it's just third place in the 3 titans that we have in the room that night. I mean, because there's cabs out there that are...
That's what we should call it, Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans. So, I mean...
Fight Night, Clash of the Titans.
we can always rename it.
Yeah, but we'd have to re-record everything.
Yeah, we ain't
Never
doing
mind.
that.
Never mind.
Yeah, but anyways, so they'll all be a good choice.
Bucket said he bought a pop socket because of you guys, right? One of these dudes here.
Oh.
They're so handy.
Yeah, they are. I don't use one because I got a magnet here that holds my phone onto my... I know, but I got mine in a weird spot.
Yeah, I put my magnet up farther.
Yeah, your magnet's up
Yours
higher.
is down. You could fit a pop socket in the middle.
I could, but I use my pinky, and my pinky gets worn out sometimes because I'm holding my phone up with my pinky.
Let's see. Is it Engel Savage Kemper Profile? Is there one?
Oh, there's tons. Yeah, in fact, Live Ready Sound has one in the Fat Metal pack. You can get an Engel Savage in there.
Yeah.
And it sounds good.
Which Engel does Richie Blackmore use? Do you know?
Oh, gosh. That's a good question.
You could probably Google it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can Google it. You don't have to stop Googling it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest
monkey,
with you. Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I wish I knew that. But the Steve Morse one is probably the most versatile Ingle because there's just tons of features on it. But if you're in the Synergy kind of world, the Ingle Savage that's in here is amazing, and the Angel E is also, like, it's a very rich, glorious amp module, and they sound huge. It's amazing. When I first started using the Synergy stuff, I got it, and I get these dinky little modules, and I'm like, this is not gonna.
Right.
Like, come on, where's the Fisher Price sticker? You know what I mean? Like, come on, this is not gonna sound good. I slide it in the chassis, I turn it on, I start playing, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, these sound absolutely incredible. And then when you mix it with either good IRs and then a good cab, or you mix it with a power section, which is the Syn 5050, which is what I have, and a good cab, you're done. I mean, it's there. All the stuff's there. All the magic, everything you've ever wanted is there. So, and that's why I went with that power section, because that legitimized all the modules. It added great power to them. And with great power comes great responsibility.
Responsibility.
Yeah, responsibility. Yeah. So, but there's that, and then what else do I have on here? I have the Soldano. Let's play that real quick. I have the Soldano SLO. Let me find it. Here it is. 1 second. Sort of lost my pick there. That's why I always bring a couple down. Yeah, but that's a really cool module as well. I really like that. And yeah, one of these days I'm going to go live and do like the full blown, all the modules through my power section and the two Mesa cabs, and you guys are going to love that. I mean, it just sounds so freaking good, you know. So I'd love to share that with you guys.
You're a pretty good guitar player.
Huh?
You're a pretty good guitar player.
All right, thanks. I am okay, you know. I got to start practicing more because I've been working on. That's the thing. Like, I used to sit down and practice like for 2 hours a day, and now I've been working on episodes so much that I don't really have a lot of time to practice, because every episode takes me anywhere from 14 to 20 hours to shoot, and you know.
A pre-recorded one.
Yeah, a pre-recorded one to shoot and load all the footage in the computer, arrange it, and then edit it, and then upload it to YouTube. You're looking at 14 minimum, 20 tops usually for that, and it's a lot of work. So, and I'm not really playing like stuff that challenges me. I'm playing stuff that challenges the gear, if that makes sense. So I got to come up with like creative riffs that'll challenge the gear and show off what it does or doesn't do. And meanwhile, I'm not really practicing my stuff. And
My stuff.
Yeah, so I'm kind of taking a back seat to that. And some of it's probably time management issues, admittedly, but...
No. Not you.
Not me, but I got to start really getting on the horse again and doing, like, my morning coffee 2-hour practice sessions again, you know?
So you got to do 20 minutes of cardio.
Yeah.
Drink your vitamins. And
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing, too. I'm on a weight loss journey, too. I lost 25 pounds.
You've been on a weight loss journey for the last
4
20
years
years of your life.
Yeah, something like that. But I dislocated my shoulder a couple years ago, and I was in the best shape of my life when this happened. I dislocated my shoulder, had to get it popped back in, and long story short, I couldn't work out for 4 months. Yeah. It was about 4 months where I couldn't go to the gym at all. I couldn't even lift a gallon of milk out of the fridge for like a month and a half. Otherwise, it would have pulled my shoulder right out again.
Yeah. He has to be super careful, not only because he's a guitar player, but he owns his own company.
Yeah.
And
I'm owner-operator, so I was literally washing trucks the next day with one hand with my arm in a sling. And
And you're left-handed.
And I'm left-handed when I wash, so I had to use my idiot hand. Those trucks did not look good. No, they probably looked all right. But so, you know, as what happens is when you hurt yourself, you're not working out, so you're not eating like you're working out. So I got off the good eating habits, and admittedly, it was a little depressing because, I mean, I can't work out. I couldn't even play my guitar. I couldn't go past here. Otherwise, my arm, my shoulder would not let me go past here, so I couldn't play. And I gained 25 pounds in that 4-month period, which, man, that's just so quick.
Well, you eat a lot of food.
I eat a lot of food, yeah.
Working out is one thing, but not working out, eating the amount of food that you eat.
Yeah, and I ate horribly. I mean, ice cream became my friend.
Yes, but, I mean, you eat a full meal every 3 hours.
Yeah, I eat a lot.
4 hours.
So anyway, I got to lose that weight again, and then...
How did we get on this? Where did this come from?
Well, I don't remember, but I'll finish it. I lost the weight, and then I gained some of it back, and now I got to lose it again. So we're getting there.
You fine.
You fine.
You fine.
Thank God for this guitar. It hides a multitude of sins.
Aaron says, a Synergy module through a great IR should sound good through a paper bag. The real test will be next week when compared to the other FR cabs.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's gonna be a nice test because I see it every day in the groups. Like, oh, which FRFR should I get? And a lot of people suggest certain things that I'm just like, oh God, no, do not. Especially like with some of these, like the Kemper's $1,700 for the Kemper stage. And to hook it up to one of those cheap plastic speakers, to me, is like, I get it if you're on a budget. Do what you got to do. No judgment at all. But if you got the means, get a wooden cab with good speakers in it and enjoy that, because it's just going to be so much better. Even if it's just for home practice, you're going to dial in your tones on it. And if you dial in your tones on a cheap plastic speaker and you take that on a good stage live on a good sound system, you're going to run into all kinds of really salty sound guys that are like, bro, this does not sound good. You know, so FRFR cabs are great for home practice and for a monitor on stage and for dialing in your tones and testing them and making sure that everything's good on them. You know, they really are good for that. They're very important. So that's why we're doing this episode. And I've had a lot of good feedback on it, too, from a lot of people that have emailed me and said, I can't wait for this because I want to know once and for all, like, which one really is the best. And a blind test with several dudes playing 2 different kinds of tones through them, both clean and, you know, like a low to medium to high gain, you know, kind of tones. I think that's going to tell us everything we need to know. And I want to do it. I want to do it.
I just I want it to be okay. Just like the time you ran sound for all of the bands, you know? And then had to play yourself. You get super stressed out, and everybody around you gets super stressed out, and
I'll go last.
And gosh darn it. Oh, you're gonna go last?
I'll go last. That way, like, if I'm not feeling it, I won't go. And if I am...
I like that. If we're on to, like, hour 2, and it's like...
I'll just skip. Yeah,
I'll just skip. Permission granted.
Yeah, oh, thanks, Mom. Yeah. So what other shootouts do you guys suggest that we do? Because after that, since Jay's here from Warm Chord Music, we'll give him a shout out and let you guys know that another one that's coming in November, first Sunday in November, is the Kemper stage versus the XFX3.
Yeah.
That one's gonna be brutal.
And
that one's
the
gonna
Kemper
be huge.
because it was the winner of our first fight night.
Exactly. So that's moving on to that. So that one's going to be huge. And Jay and I, and probably you, we need to, did you get all that? That was kind of German.
Got it.
We need to make a trip down to Jay's, and we got to check out his XFX3. And he wanted me to dial in a couple tones on it for the shootout as well. So, like, stuff that I think sounds really good in it against something that sounds really good in the Kemper. So we want to see how that goes. And we're going to familiarize ourselves with it. And we've been having some really good discussions as to, like, what is going to be, we're picking all the amp, sims or models or whatever you want to call it to put against each other. So it's been really fun. It's been really fun having those discussions and figuring this out. So
we have no suggestions yet.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Throw in the comments, what's some gear that you guys, not even shootouts, also what's some gear that you would like Jared to review?
Yep.
We're all caught up to date on the
easiest way to cut weight is to cut carbs. No, you're right. It is. I'm spending time on the treadmill, or not the treadmill, but my elliptical. It's in the gym right over. See, you see the corner of the door to my gym right over there. In the morning, I got to do empty stomach cardio, and I'm just going to start doing that again and just being diligent about it and getting this weight off because it's driving me nuts.
When is the Kemper editor coming out?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. And he was just, Chris Kemper was just at Anderton's like a couple weeks ago, and they released the review or the interview today. And there was really hardly any talk about any new products or releases or anything. It's probably going to be 2020. I'm thinking NAMM 2020 it's going to be out. I think it's going to be 2020 NAMM along with the cab, I don't really use the Kemper editor, but I'm starting to think that I'm going to have to the more shows that I do because I just turn on my Kemper and play it. I'm never turning knobs on it. I just play it. But if I'm going to be loading in a bunch of profiles on the Kemper to go against another product, the editor is definitely going to help. I know I could do it via USB, but a lot of times it's nice to have an editor to shift things out of my favorites folder and back in there and arrange them. So
Bucket says he's too lazy to learn to edit the stage on the tiny screen.
Well, it happens, it's definitely
Quilter amp shootout.
Oh, yes. That is. Thank you for that. Plastic is my jam. Helix banana. I'm sure it is. Quilter. It's funny that you mentioned that because we are going to do. I think in December, this shootout, the fight night is going to be a real tube power section through a Mesa Boogie cab versus a solid state power section through a Mesa Boogie cab, and we're going to see if people can tell the difference. Are we sniffing corks, or is there really a difference?
I would like to sniff a cork.
Yeah, well, we could figure that out. I think there's some wine upstairs, isn't there? So we want to see if there really is a difference, and that'll be blind as well. So it's funny that you bring that up because I think in December we'll be doing that. December or January, that will be another fight night.
Ben says overdrive pedals, noise gate pedals, and studio monitors.
You know what? Studio monitors would be cool, and I agree that overdrive pedals would be nice too. I'll show. I got 2 overdrive pedals on here. I'll show you the difference between these. I have the Horizon Devices Precision Drive, which is what you guys have been hearing, and then I also have this really cool, quirky, awesome pedal. Let me point to it right here. You see this giant wheel here? It's called the Tone Wheel Boost, and Antonin makes it from Salvation Audio, and it's made out of skateboard parts. So the top of it is an actual skateboard top, and this is an actual skateboard wheel. And all you do is and there's a tone wheel on the side where you can turn the tone up and down. And so it's nice because live you can actually turn the wheel with your foot, and not have to try. Yeah, but that
land on the people in front.
But that pedal is amazing. It's a really, really good pedal. The more I play it, the more I like it. Let me go to the Engel, and so the first one's going to be the Precision Drive, and the second one's going to be the Tone Wheel Boost from Salvation. So let me do that real quick. So that was the last one was the Tone Wheel Boost, and man, with my in-ears, that thing, whew, that sounded pretty good. It was ripping, man. Had a nice, it added a little more of the quirkiness to the Engel module. I think they're both great. It just depends on what flavor you're going for. And I will say this too, like when I record in the studio, a lot of times I'll use one module with one, overdrive pedal on one speaker, and another module with a different overdrive pedal on another. So It sounds like two guitar players, and you get that fullness, and your guitar, see, because here's the thing, if you record with the same guitar tone on both sides, this is what your guitar tone's doing. And it sounds like this. But watch what happens when I use two different ones. See how much bigger that is? Yeah. That's what you get. So like on our latest release, so you get this or this. So with our latest release, the song I still haven't uploaded that, and I apologize, but I will do that this week. I did that on there, and my guitar tone on that song for While I Bleed is the best tone I've ever had. And I did that in the studio, and it sounds incredible.
Ben says the skateboard wheel pedal for the win.
It sounds good. Honestly, there's days that I'll forget that it's on, and I'll play for a couple hours, and I'll be like, God, this just sounds so good. And I look down, oh my God, the whole time I forgot that I switched to that one, and it does. It sounds really good. And Antonin the guy just makes really good, very quirky, boutique, like amazing stuff. So hats off to that dude. He's from the Czech Republic, and he makes really good, high quality stuff.
Yeah, he said it was awesome. Much better definition.
It had a nice top end on it. I noticed it right away. As soon as I switched to it, I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that top end that it has. Yeah, it's a great pedal. Yeah, so all of his stuff has a lot of good quality components in it. They weigh a little more, and you can just tell there's like quality and a lot of good craftsmanship in there.
Oop, somebody's trying to get hold of you.
Yep. Yeah, so how long have we been on?
An hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Well, let's...
It is back to blankie time.
yeah. Let's wrap it up here. Well, make sure, please, and thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate that a lot. And thank you for being here. She had a challenging day, and she still showed up and put on a smiley face and everything, and her blankie. So...
You leave me alone. I don't like it.
I ain't messing with you today. but she still showed up for you guys and all that, and I really appreciate that very much.
Pleasure.
Yeah, she didn't want to miss this. So, but please tune in next Sunday, 6 o'clock. We go on an hour earlier for fight nights because we never know how long they're going to take, and we want to be respectful of your guys' time.
No, we know how long they're going to take.
Yeah, well, we think we do. But we want to be respectful of your time and the people's time that are coming here, so we're not keeping them up too late. But it will be the Powercab 2x12, which is not released on the market yet. They will be released very soon. Yeah. The Friedman ASC 12 and the Atomic CLR. Those 3 units are going to be in the fight night. And a blind test. And when we go live next week, we humbly and graciously ask that you share this on your pages, please, and invite people to watch and tag your friends and stuff, because we want this to be a packed out show.
Get your whiskey and pizza.
Yeah. We set it up like a UFC thing. We want you guys it's like the Super Bowl or whatever. Like you order a pizza, get some whiskey, sit on the couch and just say, I don't want anybody talking to me tonight. I'm watching this. This is going to be fun.
You might have to occupy the bathroom for some hours if you've got kids.
Yeah, exactly. Go hide in the bathroom with your phone or iPad or whatever. But we want it to be fun, entertaining, and educational for you. And we want you guys to also have your own, like, that's why I'm miking the cab, so that you're in on it, like you're into it. And it's, again, I'm doing the best I can with the miking of the cabs, but at least with the same mic, you'll hear how they differ from each other. And, continuity's sake, it's all on one mic. So we want to allow you guys to be part of it as well. So
thank you for the compliments, Ben. And let's see, Bucket says you guys are awesome. Appreciate your hard work. Thank you. It's good to hear.
Thank you. It's our pleasure, and we enjoy doing this, and we want to bring you guys the best content. We really feel like this is going to help bring our channel up to more of a mainstream. I say that with all humility level. We want the fight nights to really elevate us, and we appreciate everyone that's coming up with us and supporting us, because without you guys, we'll never get anywhere.
And don't forget, if you want your Tone Wars t-shirt, message Jared, email Jared, and he'll work it out.
Yes.
Have a great night, you guys. We'll see you next Sunday, an hour earlier at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Yes, exactly. Thanks, guys. Love you all, and we'll see you next week.